Hi, and welcome to another episode of D-Link TV Q&A. I'm Mike, and I'm here with
David Chen.
And we are here to answer your questions right here on the show. If you have a question of your own, you can point your browser to www.dlinktv.com, and you'll find a little web form in the upper right corner that you can fill out and get your questions answered right here by us.
That's right.
So today we're mainly talking about wireless with a little bit of media thrown in.
My favorite.
So, yes, the media is always fun. So let's start with Kevin in New York City. He wants to know how to connect his iMac to a DIR 655 Extreme N router wirelessly.
Well, if he has a newer iMac, it's really simple, straightforward. All you would need to do is go to the upper right-hand corner in the Finder and click on little airwaves. Once you click on that, a pull-down menu will come down showing you all the available SSIDs. Now, just select your SSID, enter a password if necessary, which you should have, and then you're good to go.
Right. SSID, for the novices, is the name of the wireless network. So whatever the name you gave to your wireless network on your wireless router.
That's correct.
But now, the older iMacs do not have built-in wireless. What would we do then?
Well, then you would need a product like the DAP1555.
That's this guy here. So what this is a bridge that's going to bridge between a wireless connection. So you would just plug your iMac into one of the ports here.
That's correct.
And then it's going to talk wirelessly to the router.
That's correct.
So that it's kind of a fill-in product. If the router that you're using is just an 802.11g, this is an N bridge. If the router that you have is an 802.11g, you could use something like our DGL 3420, which is an 802.11g bridge.
Right. You could actually utilize this, but you're not using it to its full potential.
Right.
If you're using with a G router.
Right. But the nice thing about the DAP 1555 is that it has 5 ports on the back of it, so you could connect your iMac, a print server, a whole bunch of different items to it, to connect. So depending on what you're going to want to do with it.
That's right.
Minichim in Brooklyn has the DIR 635 range booster N650 router and wants to know what is the best position for the 3 antennas? Straight, slanted, left, right, or what?
Well, you're going to want to pretty much position your antennas just like we have here. 45-degree angles on the side and straight up and down, 90-degree angle in the middle.
Right, so you want them out. What happens is if they're all straight up and down, the signals start bouncing between these, and it's just it's a bad thing.
Right.
So 45s and a 90, and then if you're going to position your router in the upright position, the top one just goes up.
Straight up.
Make these two guys opposite each other like that, and that will provide you with the best coverage.
That's correct.
You can with one of these 3 antenna 802.11n routers. Okay, so let's see here. William in Cordell, Georgia, wants to know what wireless router will work best with the DVC 1000, which is our wired broadband video phone.
That's right.
Has the easier port setup and will provide the best signal strength, and will there be any other hardware that he needs?
So it sounds like from his question that he wants to run this DVC 1000 wirelessly. Yeah. Again, you would refer to the DAP 1555 just because what it will do is allow a Ethernet-based device to work wirelessly.
Right.
And on the other end, he would also need a wireless router, and what we would recommend is...
Yeah, the best range and speed that you're going to get is the DIR 655.
That's right.
The DVC 1000 that he has is a wired one, so it's going to need the just like our last question about the iMac. But the nice thing about that is the video phone is something that connects to your television.
That's right.
So normally this is going to be out, by your television AV unit. Right. So you could also connect like your Xbox and media player and other devices into that's why the multi ports. That's why this is called the media bridge.
Right. And don't forget that these 2 units also support our award-winning QoS system.
Absolutely.
So it's definitely needed.
And for doing like the video phone, which is video,
that's right.
That's going to be your best combination.
30 frames a second is what you should be shooting for.
Absolutely. So the next question is Gary from Honolulu. Just downloaded and installed Active TV, but can't seem to access it through his DSM 520. So he wants to know if there's any instructional guides or information available to help him get started. And it's interesting that this question came in when it did, because I personally just wrote a big giant blog on how to get content to your DSM 520 part of that being active TV and how to set it up. So if you point your browser to blogs.dlink.com and you go to the home and home office section, the latest blog that you'll see there is called something like, so you have content, how do you get it to your media player?
That's right.
And but the key is really that the active TV setup is not just a firmware download. There's also a piece of software that has to be running on your PC
To work together.
and you have to have an internet connection. So it's the three pieces together will provide you with all kinds of online news, sports, and things like that. It's actually a pretty cool service, and it's free for anybody that has a DSM 520. So go out there and download that.
Yes.
Okay, Jose from Ceres, California, has a modem and a router from another company and wants to upgrade to the 655. That's the good thing.
That's right.
He wants to know if he'll have to change his modem for the 655 to work correctly.
Well, if he has a router, cable modem, or router
Like
combination,
a router modem combo product,
That's right.
where it's one device has both in it, then he would have to replace the modem.
Right.
But if it's just a standalone DSL or cable modem, you just take the one router out, put the new router in. You're going to need to shut down the modem, probably unplug it.
Right.
Sometimes, I don't know how often it is anymore, but sometimes you have to leave them unplugged for up to 24 hours because there's a battery in there that holds the information. So if you just unplug it, you leave the cable modem off, try it just by unplugging it and plugging it back in, but if it doesn't seem to take right away, then you might want to leave it unplugged for a little while so that battery drains.
Right.
Then what that does is that allows the new router to act, it will get provisioned by your cable modem.
Yeah, and also you have to make sure it's going to be an Ethernet-based cable modem or DSL.
Right.
router. If it's USB, it's not going to work.
Right. So make sure it's Ethernet. You shouldn't have any problems unless it's a combo device.
All right.
Okay, well, that's going to do it for today's episode of D-Link TV Q&A. Remember, if you have a question, point your browser to www.dlinktv.com, and we'd be happy to answer it right here on the show.
That's right.
All right, thanks, Dave.
No problem. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you for watching.